The Royal Air Force flight carrying Queen Elizabeth's coffin from Edinburgh to RAF Northolt near London set an all-time flight tracking record on flight radar with 5 million people following. 4.79 million people viewed the flight across Flight Radar 24's web and mobile app service, and a further 296,000 followed the flight via YouTube live stream. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. As a flight surgeon, I've always been interested in aircraft. I use Flight Radar 24 all the time and made this video just so you'll be aware of this software. I use the free version and have no affiliation with Flight Radar 24. If you like this video, we'd sure appreciate the like and subscribe. Flight Radar 24 is one of my favorite apps and is available on Android or iOS. It also has a website and can be accessed on any device. Over 50 million people have downloaded the app from the Android Play Store, and it remains one of the most popular services for tracking flights. So in 2006, two Swedish aviation enthusiasts got together. They formed a company called Flight Radar 24, and by 2009, it was ready to go live. So what did they do, and how did this all come to pass? All aircraft broadcast a signal. This signal is called ADS/B. And in this ADS-B signal, there's a lot of information about the aircraft. This is speed, height, direction, etc. A lot of information is broadcast, and every single aircraft flying, all 180,000 in the air right now, broadcast out this information. What these two people were able to do was to develop a receiver to receive this information. These receivers could be produced at a very low cost and were initially distributed through Europe. This quickly allowed them to track and locate all the aircraft with speed, direction, etc. for each individual machine. So at time of launch, Flight Radar 24 was able to show you the tracking of, mostly in Europe at that time, of planes that were flying in different locations. This quickly expanded over the next few years to a worldwide service. These small receivers, about 30,000, were produced at a very low cost and could be put in people's homes, or they could be put in very small locations. But as long as they were distributed around the world, they would receive this data that the airplanes were broadcasting, and this would go into the main computer at Flight Radar 24 and would be broadcast out for you to see in the form of a radar signal. It's not really radar, but when you look at it, it looks like a radar screen. This service has become extremely popular. It's used worldwide by airlines, accident investigation, transport companies, the public. Everybody uses Flight Radar 24. Yes, it is used worldwide. The unique thing about this app is that it's free. Yes, you can download it. Now, there are some paid features, which we'll discuss in a few minutes, but it is a free app. So I would encourage you to download it, and let me explain how this differs from regular information you might get about your flight and why this is important to use if you're going to an airport. So let's have a look at this. So if you go to an airport and you're traveling, the first thing you do when you get there is you look at the arrival screen and find out if your plane is on time. This is usually a large screen at right when you come into the airport, and you'll see all the airlines have their arrival and departure times. It's often very confusing because there's so many. Now, the information that is put into this screen is from the airlines. These screens and information services are usually owned by the airport, and the feeds that go into this are from the airlines. This is important because we'll talk about this in a minute. Now, the airports all have websites, so you also can get this information from the airport website under the arrivals and departure section. But the information fed into their website is the same information that gets into those large screen TVs in the airports. Another way that you might get information, and probably the best, is from an app on your phone related to that specific flight you're taking. So if it is an American Airlines flight, then there will be an American Airlines app, and you can actually receive information right from the airline in that app regarding your flight. So if you are traveling, it is important that you download the app, and that's one of the best ways to get information about your flight. So when things are going well, that's fine, but there often is crisis. There could be bad weather and a lot of flights getting canceled. There could be an electronic problem and an airline can't load their flights. There can often be a big disaster when you get to the airport and you look on that screen and it says pending, unavailable, rescheduled. There's something there, and you look up at that screen and you think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to stand in line for hours to figure out what's going on. Well, there is another way that you can get information, and that, of course, is with Flight Radar 24. Because remember now, Flight Radar 24 is giving you information that's coming not from the airline or the airline input. You're getting this as data from the plane as it flies. So you will know exactly where that plane is in the sky and if it has left the previous destination. Now, as you track that plane across the skies, it will also give you a very accurate time of arrival. The time of arrival is when the wheels touch down on the landing surface. This is not the arrival time at the gate. The arrival time at the gate is the one that the airlines use on those big TVs. Remember, on a large airport, the airplane is going to have to taxi quite a long way to get to the gate, and you're assuming the gate is empty. If there's two planes waiting at that gate to unload passengers, the actual time at gate may be different. But in a pinch, when you're looking in the airport and you're on those big screen TVs and you want further information, Flight Radar 24 is great. Plus, it gives you accurate information that doesn't come from the airlines. If they tell you that that plane is going to be there in an hour, but you look on Flight Radar and it's still 4 hours from the airport because you can see it in the sky flying, then you know things aren't exactly as the airline is telling you. So that's why Flight Radar is such an important app to have, particularly if you're traveling. All right, so you're tracking a plane with Flight Radar 24. How would you like to sit in the captain's chair? Yes, you can sit in the captain's seat and view as the pilot would see looking out through the cockpit. Or you could be in a chase plane behind and actually have a view of the plane from above. Or you can be in front of the plane and see all the spectacular scenery just as the pilot would be seeing it as he's flying. All available on Flight Radar 24. But that's not part of the free version. But it's amazing the graphics that you can see. And as your loved one is traveling on a flight across the ocean or landing in Hawaii, you too can be watching the same scenery that they are as well. It's amazing. And the graphics are really good, even on your phone. It's truly unbelievable. And no, you do not get to fly the plane. You have to have a pilot's license to do that. So give it a try. It is a lot of fun. It certainly is something you should be using if you're at an airport, and something I use all the time. It's free and available to download either as an Android app or as iOS. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. We release around 4 to 6 videos per week. If you want to be notified, you know, the like and subscribe thing. Till we see you again, have a great day.